Sandra Crathern, Inner Vision, talking about health and well-being today. My last video that I made, my last vlog, was a bit emotional, and it was about a patient of mine that I looked after for a long time who died, and so I guess I'm still sort of in that place a little bit sad and a little bit emotional, and yeah, I don't know what I can share because there's a little bit of too much emotion in the way of what I want to do. But I always think that if you speak from your heart, then people generally, it goes to their heart, I guess. If I talk out of my head and orchestrate everything constantly, sometimes people just like a lovely, beautiful story that's shared genuinely from someone's heart. And one of my ambitions is to work with nurses and to work in prisons, because I really believe some of the tools I've created will help particularly people that are in prison, but also nurses that spend so much time looking after everybody else but not really looking after themselves. And I too was one of those until recently, and I value my health so much. It's like such a big part of my life that I just feel I was put on the planet to help people to do the same, because there's nothing worse than it being too late. I remember I worked in a nursing home and did some agency work some years ago, and there was an old boy there who was a really lovely man, and he worked like millions of hours I think he owned his own sweet shop or something. And he was telling me the story. He'd had quite a bad stroke, and he was able to talk, and he was getting a bit better, and we were walking up and down the corridor every day, and he was such a great guy. And he said to me, I was telling him what I did for a living, and he said, Sandra, I really wish I could have made the time to have stopped and slowed down, because I was doing like 17-hour days. He said, and I'm sure all that stress added to me having a stroke. And I guess I want to help people to avoid really awful situations that are non-reversible. He couldn't get the movement back of his leg and his arm. Luckily he had his speech back. Now, I'm not saying that if you do A, B and C you're guaranteed. I don't know that I'm guaranteed a healthy life. Anything could happen to me, but what I do know is because I really rest well and I eat beautifully and I communicate my feelings and I am authentic. I'm totally imperfect, I know that, but I do feel I'm giving myself the best chance of the best health. I don't want to say when something awful happens to me, yeah, actually, a lot of that might have been because I was so stressed. I want to do something about it. And it's not easy. I appreciate when people come and work with me, it's not easy to make changes. But I'm experiencing the best health that I've ever had in my life. I'm 57 and I look at myself now and I think I look great, and my body's healthy. I feel well when I wake up in the morning. I love the food I eat. I love the way I take care of myself, and I think that's accessible for everyone. So even through my little bit of sadness today, I hope my passion for well-being comes across, and it just touches your heart enough to do one small action. Just make one small action and add on it. That would be my health tip today, to get yourself the very best health that you can.